Check your inbox, operator. Maybe Ordis will get a message someday.
Yeah, it's very sad, actually. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. I'm just currently testing settings. Cool. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I've been messing with Streamlabs, changing to a new streaming software just to see, because it has more options, like all these cool little banners and things you can automatically upload. It's very convenient. Are you not in the US? Where are you from? 20th. On the 20th. Maybe. Let's see. Check my schedule. On the 20th, yes, I debated Jonathan Armand. JR. That's the JR debate. Brazil, huh? Yeah, I have no idea how atheism is perceived in Brazil. May or may not be a good idea to come out as an atheist. Yeah, in America, especially in the South of America, it's really a bad idea. Atheists are discriminated against pretty bad in jobs and other things. Do you have any like friends who are atheists in Brazil, or who are people know them as atheists? You can talk to about it, see what they think, because they might have a better idea of what it's like to be an atheist, a publicly atheist in Brazil.
If I may say, operator, your chosen warframe suits you. Ha ha.
Yes, I am on Discord. I have a Discord thingy somewhere. I can show you the link actually, because I can do this. Not that one. It's, that one. There, that one. It'll say my Discord in the middle of the left thing. It says the link right there. You can check it. Yeah, yeah. I'm in the voice chat. I'm in the gaming live stream chat. Hey, how's it going? Yeah?
We received intel that somebody vital to enemy operations is here. Find them and capture them. What is
Yeah. A Christian is just someone who follows Jesus. Catholic is a specific denomination, like Roman Catholic, people who follow the church.
The capture target has vital information to extract. We need our subject brought back alive. Its frequency has changed. You're onto something, Tenno.
Do you know any of them? You said there aren't many, but do you know like one or two of them?
This is destroy it.
Distract the puppet. Make it dance and flail.
Target located. Bring them in.
Yeah, I would definitely try and find out.
What lovely.
Yeah, try and find out like what it's like to be an atheist. People to know you're an atheist in the country before you actually like come out, because it might not be very good. That people can in America, there's a lot of discrimination against jobs.
Headed your way.
So
That was a close one.
Don't let them do that.
that could go close. You still there? Your mic is muted. All right.
What a waste.
How did I what? You're breaking up a little bit. I can barely hear you.
Hurry.
I can't hear you. How do I do what? Is what a problem? Could you like try turning the volume up? Yeah.
My siphon! My Kuba! You're messing up all my plans. I don't like it. Not one bit.
How did I transition into atheism?
Kuba siphon. Can't allow
I was a Christian in high school. Like before high school, I was brought up Christian, and then I had major depression pretty much my entire life, and none of my prayers were ever answered, and I never got any help that I needed. So I eventually just stopped being able to believe that there was a God there who really cared about me or who was looking out for me, and I eventually just lost any faith I had that it existed, and that's how I became an atheist. I didn't really identify as an atheist until like years later, because I didn't actually know what atheism was until I started to watch like Christopher Hitchens and Richard Dawkins and those guys. Yeah, I didn't. I started researching the arguments a few years after I became an atheist. A few years after I stopped believing in God, then I started to actually research the arguments and like Hitchens, Harris Dawkins, those kind of guys. And that's when I like found the label of atheism and started to identify as an atheist. Yeah, I usually go with the lack of belief definition. I think that what most atheists believe is that everything that theists are saying is unsupported. That's really what they're claiming when you claim to be an atheist, is that all the stuff that theists say is ridiculous. You're not really claiming there isn't a God, because that's not the point. It's just saying that what theists are claiming doesn't make sense. It's not supported. And that's what most atheists define atheism as. It's just the theistic claims are unsupported, not necessarily that God doesn't exist. Hmm.
Operator, the system needs you. Will you begin another mission?
Hey, how's it going? Who's this? Oh, you're still there? Yeah. How's it going? The uniformity of nature would be like, just like Christians say, they can say that there's a God that tells them that nature's going to be uniform. You could just say there's a law of nature that makes it uniform. So just like they can make up answers, so can we. That's usually the easiest way to respond. The honest answer is we don't know. Like, nature isn't uniform. For example, we know that gravity used to be repulsive at the early stages of the universe, so it wasn't uniform at all. And so it could actually change in the future. We don't know it's going to be uniform. We know the laws of logic are uniform just because they describe reality, and reality can't not be not reality. So that's why logic is uniform. But the laws of physics could change.
Your duty in this experiment is to dispatch as many specimens
Restream.
as possible.
Desktop audio is off right now. Good. Okay.
I will open the next data conduit.
What? Yeah, I play a whole bunch of games. Right now I'm playing Neo 2. That's probably the game I'm playing most right now. I have Call of Duty games somewhere. I haven't played that one much recently. I have The Witcher is a good game. And Red Dead Redemption I had somewhere. I don't know if I have that anymore.
Proceed immediately.
Yeah, and then hopefully the Ghost of Tsushima, when that comes out, that'll be pretty good.
Move and strike. We have to win this.
Hurry, Hunter. The conduit is
You're breaking up again. I couldn't hear you.
Hunter. The sanctuary will go on without you.
I don't really know much about the game. It just looks really good. It looks like it's a Japanese game and it's like samurai. Oh yeah, I was gonna do that, wasn't I?
Ordis has been counting stars, operator. All accounted for.
To do what? Is it an effective way to convince people? Maybe. I mean, try to like, tell me the argument and see if I can understand it. Yeah, that's a pretty good way is to show the contradictions, but people who believe in God usually have like excuses for that. So they'd say, well, maybe God had sufficient reason or whatever. So it's usually better to go with like really obvious examples, like God drowned babies in the Old Testament. Like that's God must be evil for that. That's stole that one from Doug Pine Creek. Yeah, Doug's flying mag argument. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, they're like trying to avoid it. Like they see where it's going and they try to like avoid as best they can. It's hilarious. I no, I'm a full-time YouTuber. YouTube is my job. What about you? What is your job out? Oh yeah. That makes sense. Are you guys shut down for the virus thing? Yep. Garbage. Alright, try now. Downloading. $3, wow. Is there any progress made on what? The debates? Yeah, I think there are people who do change sides and change beliefs based off of watching debates. I mean, I get messages and emails and stuff saying people changed their position thanks to what I did. And like Nathan Orman, he's a guy on Twitch and YouTube, and he has changed his position a lot based off of like debates and conversations and stuff. So definitely people do change their positions based off of the debates. Not the majority, most people don't, but it does happen. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are already set in their positions, so they're not gonna change their minds most likely. But there are some that do. It's the minority. It's the people on the fence, usually, who change their minds. Hi. Not much. How are you? Yeah. Yeah, pretty much what I do. I go out and bike, rollerblade, and jog to try and keep busy. Thanks. Yep, it's kind of a milestone. Need like 10,000 is the next big milestone, I think, because that's when you get subs, like paid subscriptions unlocked for YouTube. Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, like my Patreon is actually going down, which sucks a lot. Probably because of the coronavirus, people losing their jobs, can't donate as much. Yeah, that's no problem. You can donate any way you want. So it makes me happy. Yeah. Yeah. I probably should have just mentioned, I think I mentioned it in the opening. I'm pretty sure I did, that there's geological time gap between the dinosaur fossils and the human fossils. But probably only mentioned it like briefly. But yeah, that wasn't really the point. The point was just to say his arguments are stupid. Yep. Yep. Oh, pictures of dinosaurs. Pictures of things that look like dinosaurs. That's clearly evidence they existed. Like, wow. Yep, that's a forgery. I actually looked it up after the debate. The big imprint of the big toe is real, but the rest of the foot is just a forgery carved by the guy who did it. So it's hilarious. Yeah. I think I watched part of it. Thanks. Yeah, it was nice talking with you. Oh, yeah, I've seen a few of those. Like, I had Kwaku on. Yeah, he's pretty funny. Is he debating the guy with the beard and James White? Yep, that one was pretty good. Yep. Right now I'm just waiting for my update to go back to Neo. I was playing Warframe, but I got the thing I'm building is like takes 5 hours. For what platform? PC, PS4, Xbox. Yeah, I got all the like best ribbons, which is awesome. Yeah, I spent way too much time playing Warframe. Yep, pretty soon. I have one tonight, and a few in the next few weeks. I just keep them on my calendar. I don't even memorize them. Just whenever they show up, they're like a notification pops up on my Google calendar. It says, you need to do this. I'm like, okay. So yeah, I got one, damn it, I got one today at 11 a.m. That's like and then one today at 10 p.m. Yeah, I haven't gone to sleep yet. So I've been up all night. Yeah, me too. Definitely need that to move on. Yep. Not exactly. Well, there's Stephen Myers. I have no idea. No idea what he's talking about. I mean, I know that creationism has never made any testable predictions. So I don't know what he's talking about. Like my response is if they say testable predictions exist in an academic journal, I'd say, okay, convince the consensus. Like that's the whole point of testable predictions is that you have to convince the people who understand it in the field. So like Inspiring Philosophy actually does have papers published by physicists in physics journals, but they don't convince anybody. Like they are actual academic papers in accredited journals, but they don't convince anybody. And that's why they're not credible. So even if you have something published in an academic journal, that doesn't make it credible. What you need to do is convince the people, the experts in the field. And so you need to go one step further than actually just having them published. You need to have them convince the experts. And so I don't know if it's published or not. I doubt what he's talking about is published in a peer-reviewed journal. But if it was, it's still not going to be credible until he can convince the people who are the experts in the field. Well, it did, actually. So that's the thing is that those scientific theories are almost instantly gain the consensus. It takes like 6 or 7 months, like a year or whatever. But that is, in scientific terms, that's really, really fast. So they almost instantly take the consensus when there's good evidence like that. It's the ones like idealism or psychic phenomenons which have not been able to gain the consensus in like 40 years because they don't work.
I can wait forever, adversary, but I won't.
Yep. I mean, because the problem intelligent design is actually really interesting because the way they phrase the argument is perfectly fine. You'd say there's some property in life, and that property also exists in things human designed, or only exists in things humans designed. Therefore, life was designed. Now, that's a perfectly good argument. The problem is that there is no such property. Like, they've just made up this property of specified complexity or woobly goobly boos and said that it exists in matter and or in life and in human designed things when it doesn't. It's just a made up property.
There is a prisoner here that is vital to operations. Search for the holding location.
Yeah, that's exactly their argument. We have the googly boogly boos. Yep. A guy from another YouTube channel, The Bird's Eye View, and then I'm going to be on Modern Day Debates talking with a Christian and a Buddhist about is there an afterlife? Can there be an afterlife or something like that? Yep. Is there an afterlife? Can there be an afterlife? Pretty sure that the Buddhist... Yeah, I think they believe in karma, so that when you die, you try to achieve the enlightenment. And so there is an afterlife in Buddhism. It's just reincarnation. Yep. I mean, afterlife is possible. It's just there's no reason to believe it. So there's nothing that prevents an afterlife from being there. We just have no reason to believe there is one yet. But yeah, there could even be like a naturalistic afterlives. Yep, that's one possibility.
That machine, it's using your energy to... This is bad. Destroy it.
Thank you.
You are a waste and must be erased.
You need a new approach. You're not making a dent.
Another failure! If you don't want to serve your queen, you can always be served to her on a platter! What an ugly child. Yeah. Huh.
That worked. Your operator form is key.
I don't know. Like there's a few debates I've seen that are like, those are really good arguments. And they're like debates no one's ever heard of before. So I don't remember the guy's name, but he made some pretty interesting arguments for atheism, and I learned a lot from him. But I don't remember what they are. I had them saved sometime because I was going to make like a best debates video or something, but I never did. But I definitely like the classics like Hitchens, Harris, and Dawkins. They're fun to listen to. I don't agree with their philosophy, but they're fun to listen to. They're good debaters. And the Dry Apologist isn't bad. Yeah, like, Dry Apologist is actually pretty good. He's a pretty smart guy. Randall Rouser is pretty smart some of the times. Not as much on Bible contradictions, but on philosophy. I like Samuel Nassan. He's very calm, very well thought out in his debates. don't think I know who that is off the top of my head.
My siphon! My Kuba! You're messing up all my plans. I don't like it. Not one bit.
Yeah, I just don't like. I can't remember who that is just by thinking about his name. I don't remember. I don't get a face. Don't picture a face.
I will consider what I've learned from the skirmish.
Also, I mean, I like standing for truth. I think his arguments are stupid, but he's actually taken a lot of time to try and think through them.
Heads up, a Grenier assault team is headed your way. You are approaching the holding area. Careful. If the wardens detect it, they will surely initiate the execution sequence. Hurry up. You are running out of time.
Yeah, I think I did a few of them with him. That's one thing that could definitely help my channel grow is if I can get standing for truth versus like R and Raw, that would just be hilarious.
The captive will be in one of these cells. Search them.
Micro and macro.
You've located the hostage. Escort the prisoner to the
That's hard to believe.
the rest.
Like if I asked Raw Matt like today, he's probably gonna say no. No, Neff's arguments are just insanely stupid. Neff is just as bad as a flat earther. Yep, well the world is flat. I mean, flat earthers are ridiculous. Like, there's some like the flat Earth Aussie or whatever, who's kind of like Neff, who just doesn't really understand what he's saying. And then there's the flat earthers like Nathan Thompson, who's actually pretty smart. Like, he's a very articulate guy. He knows what he knows how to express a point in a debate. His arguments are still stupid, but he's good at talking. Some of it is, but not all of it. Like he's making the arguments that, well, when we look out and it looks flat, like that's, yeah, of course it looks flat, but that isn't actually evidence. Yeah, for sure. Definitely want to. Met him in person in Texas. That was with him and Team Skeptic. I was just there because my live debate was like the next day or something. Yeah, I like live debates. Live debates are good. Yeah, I've been paid, and like James has paid for my tickets and hotel and stuff. But yeah, big speakers can get paid a lot of money for live debates. Like, I think Lawrence Krauss was charging like $2,000 a day or something. And then like Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris, those guys get major bucks. Like, I think Jordan Peterson was like 50 grand for a speaking event or something. $50,000, something like that. Yep, he's that huge.
Stand by while intelligence profiles of the Grineer. Error.
Yep.
Not a number. To the
That's what the really big speakers cost. Like I was, still am a part of the groups at like the University of Minnesota, and they bring in speakers. And sometimes if they want to bring in a really big speaker, that's how much money you gotta shell out to try and get them there. Like they brought in Jeff Sessions for one of the Republican guys. He cost a lot of money. I don't know, but it was a very large amount. I think it's a good thing to listen to people's who you disagree with. So bringing in like politicians, especially both sides, is a good idea. I've never voted, so there's no one who I think is a good candidate to vote for.
Later.
Yep. Did Sekiro have DLC? Lord Jeffrey posted that he plays Sekiro, not Neo, or he switched over to Sekiro. And I'm pretty sure I got all the base trophies in that game, so I got all the platinum, but I don't know if it has DLC. Nope, just the base trophies. So yeah, I got all those. I think it's actually a pretty common platinum too. Like 20% of people who have the game have the platinum.
You must deliver payloads and defend a number of locations when I break into the network. Be prepared for heavy resistance. I can't do this without you.
Okay, Tano, a lot of people are depending on you to
PSN trophies.
We'll put an end to this corpus greed.
Terminal spotted. And prepare to defend.
Let's go.
I'm in, Tenno.
Let's see. Go away.
Take a moment. Still working on it. Continue to defend.
Can't find it. Sekiro. Sekiro right there. Yeah, the platinum is like 30% on Sekiro, so that's a really common platinum. Like Star Wars Jedi the Fallen Order has like 1% more, like 29%. So Sekiro is a really common platinum. Neo 2 is more common. It was pretty easy too. It didn't take anything.
Move on. We've got to find a terminal. Proceed and prepare.
Ghost Recon only had 16%. That one's a lot
Corpus
more
Walkers are
rare.
heading to your location.
Greedfall's 5%. That one's pretty rare. Far Cry is 18%, so it's actually about the same. Or actually 10% more rare, I guess. Warface is 0.8%.
Location reached.
That is
And defend
rare.
position. I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment. on it. Continue to defend. Terminal hacked. Keep moving.
Oh, that one went down, did it? Now, the rarest trophy I have is a 0.11% trophy. Only 28 people have it.
Here is a terminal. Get me in and get ready to defend.
Sometimes I got the new one, or one of the new ones. I think my KD is 2. I think I have a 2 KD right now.
I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment.
I'm not a big fan of Call of Duty. I don't like it because the little sniper shot thingies, little scopes that they show you where you are whenever you like point a sniper at somebody. That is so stupid. Like, hey, let's just show everyone where all the snipers are, because that makes sense. That kind of ruins the game. Nope, I downloaded it, but I haven't played it. It's not really. I'm not big into those kind of arena games. I like strategies, skill
Continue to defend.
games. Like, I really liked Battlefield. That was one of my favorite games. But that game got crap as soon as they started adding the sniper scope glint. Sniper scope glint, and it makes it shit. Because it's just like, hey, let's just point out where you are, because that makes it fun. No. Crap. Kill cams are awful too. I hate kill cams.
The odds were against us, Tenno, but we did it. Mission complete.
My favorite shooter is Warface. Warface is the best shooter I've ever played. Yep, it's free like Warframe. It's one of those kind of games. Yep, Warface is like the same kind of a thing. It's just a free game on the PlayStation Store you can just get and play. It's also on PC, so I think it's also on Xbox too. Yeah, it's my favorite shooter of all time, definitely. They have this very great system where the enemies spawn on one side and you spawn on the other side, and there's no moving of the spawn points, and that makes it so good. I absolutely love that. I hate how Call of Duty has this absolute shitty system where the spawns just move when other people move. It's like ruins the game. It's so stupid because then you just get people spawning in random places and get enemies all over the place, and it's so dumb. Like, no, there should be a front line. There should be one line of them there, and your team should be over here, and you should have your allies holding that position. It's not just random people running like chickens with their head cut off in every direction. I think that's so stupid. Because then the game's more like luck-based than skill-based, because somebody just spawns behind you, like, what are you going to do? So yeah, that's why I like Warface. Warface is beautiful. It's just, you spawn on that side, they spawn on that side, you're done. Battlefield had the same kind of a thing with the rush mode. They spawn on one side, you spawn on the other side. It's just beautiful. Absolutely amazing mode. I love that mode. Call of Duty should have that mode. It would make the game better. mean, they did that those big maps, which at least made it somewhat decent.
Get this done.
The enemy is at our doorstep. You must defend our equipment until reinforcements arrive.
So, the Corpus are just a cult, worshipping money.
Hmm. Not much, just doing a random mission. Let's see. I had major depression, took a bottle of sleeping pills, stopped doing anything for a while, and then I just started to watch like lots of YouTube videos and TED Talks on philosophy in my spare time of not caring about anything in life, and that's kind of how I got into it. Yep. I didn't have anything like that. Mine was just depression, not schizophrenia or any type of psychosis. I audited a few classes. I took a few classes in college, but I didn't go for a degree or anything. Didn't want to spend the money. Kind of a waste. Steve is just a asshole, I think. I mean, like, he's not stupid. He's not unintelligent. He's just extremely arrogant in the way he thinks. And he can't accept being wrong about things. He can't accept criticism of any kind. Like, so when I defended Kyle on the debates thing and said he was innocent until proven guilty, like, he couldn't stand that. He couldn't, like, accept, well, how could you possibly take that? And he tried to find, like, the most incoherent arguments against me, like that it has something to do with saying waiting for a court to determine what's moral, and that wasn't at all my position. So he takes his own positions and then imposes them on you. So what he thinks, how he interprets your position is apparently your position. And modern day debate. Yeah. That's okay. It's free advertising. That's okay. Free advertising is good. So, oh god. And I mean, it's not like drama is kind of his thing. He's not really, he doesn't really have good conversations about like the intellectual topics. He tries to, but he doesn't know how. He's not very good at that. Like he had Lawrence Krauss on, and that was a pretty good opportunity to have a interesting conversation, but he just didn't. It just was kind of boring because he doesn't know how to have those kind of intellectual conversations about things. He knows a lot of random facts and then focuses on the pedantic random facts, but doesn't actually probe anything interesting into the field, like anything new. And so what he does do well is drama. That's what he's known for. He is the drama alert of the atheist community. Oh, he's been going after Matt for a long time. So he's always been like that. But he just started going after Jim Hall. He's the guy on the Atheist Edge. He's a friend of mine. He's a good guy. Personal attacks and stuff that. So yeah, him and Nate Brody and the guy who ran the Magic Sandwich Show. I forgot his name now. Dragnaut. Yeah, forgot his actual name though. Yeah, that's it. So, I'm in pretty good company. Steve is making enemies of all of the big people in the atheist community. So, hey, I'm on the right side of history. Yeah, I'd very much like to. I went on Truth Wanted. But, yeah, I definitely want to go on the atheist experience. That would be huge. A huge boost for my channel, definitely. But I haven't been invited on yet, so... I hope so. Yep, definitely would for me. Oh. Testing. No, I was testing my microphone levels. So what were you saying? The 200 to 300? Well, it's about like who you're partnered with, because the big thing, like what made modern day debate take off was his debates with Matt Dillahunty. Put Matt Dillahunty and IP in a debate, and he got a shit ton of subscribers, and that is like increases the amount of exposure you get by a lot. So what you need is some big things like that to really take off. So if I get a 2v2 debate with Matt Dillahunty, or if I get on the Atheist Experience, that'll cause my shows to be really huge. Like, for example, Shannon Q's channel has like 20,000 subs or something, but her views are about the same as mine. But because she's a chick and has a lot more people in the atheist community who support her and share her stuff, she has a lot more subs than I do. And because she's dating Paul. I like Shannon. Yeah. I don't have anything to like complain about with Shannon. I like her.
Get ready for a capsule.
Shannon has those. She has a few of them, a number of them. She had one with Eric Hernandez recently, talking about neuroscience, about neurology, yeah, the soul.
I've delivered a life support capsule to the activating it.
Yeah, I like Eric. Eric's a friend. I met him in person in Texas too. When I did the Ben Arbor debate, which still isn't up right now, which is ridiculous. The second one, I did one of them, and then I did one in live in person with him, which, at the Bible and Beer Consortium. No, we did it over a year ago, and they still haven't uploaded it yet. I want to send him another message. Send Ezra.
way.
Yep, I had one Muslim on my channel. And I have a few friends who are Muslims or ex-Muslims.
Another life support capsule is now available. Life support has been replenished.
Actually, it is. I was really surprised in my debate with the Muslims that he claimed God wasn't all good. So that's that's actually more reasonable than theism, than Christianity, because they think God is all good, and so that's inconsistent with the whole drowning of all the babies and everything. But Muslims just claim nope, he's not all good, or at least that one did. I don't know if all Muslims claim that. So I mean that makes it more reasonable than theism, at least. So that the mass drowning of people isn't all good. That's okay. I'm like, all right then.
Life support activated.
Yeah, I'm a part of it. One of them. I think I'm a part of the big
Life
one.
support incoming. Additional life support has arrived.
Yeah, he made the same argument. Well, I think I've heard them say that God didn't create Satan. Like, Satan and the angels existed eternally with God or something like that. That's one reply that they've said. And the second one is that he gave the angels, like, free will. That, like, contradicts, well, why do we need to go through the whole human thing if the angels have free will? So there's a lot of different replies to it. But I like the better example of, like, God drowned babies. Like, who cares about what Satan did? Satan just chose to be somewhere else. Well, that's fine. But God drowned millions of babies who didn't choose anything. So that's a much greater evil.
Prepare for life support. Life support activated.
That's still immoral, so. Because you couldn't say that about, like, every crime in the Bible. Like Sodom and Gomorrah and turning the woman into salt and sacrificing the child of Jezebel or something like that. Bible names are dumb.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
And then the killing of all the Israelites who turned against him and the taking slaves of their young women and all kinds of things. Yep, you kill all the men and women and children, but leave the young women for yourselves. That's, like, clearly not moral. So you can just say that the Christian God definitely cannot be all good. That's definitely not an option. I just say morals are objective. I say morals are not subjective, so they're objective. So we can judge them that they are moral. Well, that's just my theory. You don't need that for an objective model of morality. Like, there's a ton of objective models of morality in philosophy. Like, utilitarianism and consequentialism are objective models of morality. Utilitarianism says that we should do what is has the best outcome for the most people. So if you kill 1 to save 5, then it's subjectively moral to kill the 1 to save the 5. Consequentialism is essentially a kind of utilitarianism where it says that we should do whatever has the least bad consequences. So if killing 1 person only has consequences of like losing 1 life, and letting 5 people die has the consequence of 5 people losing their lives, we should do the one that saves the 5 but kills the 1, essentially. So, I mean, there's also like moral Platonism, which says morality is a abstract object like numbers. Kind of, it's just close to what my actual position is. But so the undiscovered moral law thing is not actually what I believe. I don't think morality is like an actual law of nature that we haven't discovered yet. I think it's just an abstract. Well, yeah, Platonism says there is an abstract object which actually exists. It's like a thing that exists in the universe somewhere. Whereas I say abstract objects don't exist, but abstract objects can still be objective. So the difference between my view and Platonism is that Platonism says the abstract objects actually exist, whereas I say they don't actually exist, but they can still be objective. Yeah, just like gravity. So that's just the counterexample for theism. I don't actually believe that that is the case. That's just to say, well, what could be an objective morality other than God? Because the moral argument in the first premise is that without God, there are no objective moral values and duties. So in order to prove that argument wrong, all you have to do is show that there can be a different objective morality without God, which is what the point of the undiscovered law is. It's like saying, here is a example of something that can be an objective model of morality without God. I don't actually believe it is the case. It's just a counterexample. No, that's fine. I think that morality is an abstract. Like, 1 + 1 = 2 is objectively true, but it's an abstract. Numbers don't exist. There's no 1 anywhere in the world. It's just because the statement describes reality, it makes it objective. Like saying 1 + 1 = 5 doesn't describe reality, which is why it's false, and 1 + 1 = 2 does describe reality, which is why it's true. But math is a language. It's just another made-up abstract thing in human heads, but it can still be objective because it describes reality. So I think morality is the same kind of a thing, where there are sentences, like an English sentence. If I said I am a human, that statement is objectively true because it describes reality. But if I said I'm a space leprechaun, that statement is not objectively true because it's just false. I'm not a space leprechaun. So we can say the same thing is true of moral statements, where there are certain moral statements that are true because they correspond to reality, and there are certain moral statements that are false because they don't. Just like math and just like sentences. So even though math and sentences and morality are all abstract concepts, they can correspond or describe reality in some sense, which makes them objective. And that's what I think about morality, is that it's like math or like English, where it can describe reality. It refers to something objective, which is what makes it objective. Yeah, it's still in our brains. It's all in our heads. All abstract things, all sentences, all math, all morality, they're all just things in our head. So, but sentences, even though all words, all English words exist only in our head, they describe something in the world. So if I said, I am a human, that refers to something in the world. Even though all of the words, all the language is all just in our head, it can correspond to reality. And there are other combinations of words that don't correspond to reality, like I'm a unicorn, or something like that. So there are moral sentences can be the same way, where some moral sentences can correspond to reality and some moral sentences don't. Just like some English sentences do and some English sentences don't. So that's why morality can be objective, even though it's an abstract, just like English can be objective, even though it's also abstract. That's the tough part. Well, yeah, truth values is a consequence of what you're basing it on. So yeah, I'd say that a description of the best of all possible worlds is an abstract entity like a perfect triangle. Like a perfect triangle has 3 perfectly straight sides, and it adds up, the angles add up to 180 degrees or whatever. So it's a mathematical object that exists, which is like a sentence, like a mathematical number. It's just an abstract thing, but it does have objective properties, like it has three perfect sides. So I think reality, objective reality, or the best of all possible worlds, is going to be like a perfect triangle. It's an abstract object, but it does have certain properties that can be measured in a sense.
You must be feeling guilty. Need to atone. I'll oblige.
Ugh. Moral intuition is like how we experience morality. It's kind of like gravity is like if we feel something fall, that's how we experience gravity. So moral intuition is like our sense of feeling it fall. It's just how we are aware of morality. It's like our sense of sight, a sense whatever. It's done testing. Testing. Okay, that's better. Moral progress is like how we can see how it's directed, like what direction morality is going in. So moral progress is like how we see cultures have changed over time. Like we used to think that LGBT rights were immoral, and now we think they're moral. And we used to think women's rights were immoral, and now I think they're moral. And we used to think that killing animals was totally fine, but now we think it's immoral, like veganism. And so all the changes in society that we see about how morality has shifted from the past to the present seem to follow a pattern. And describing that pattern is what we can like describe as kind of like how Newton described gravity. It's like we see this change happening with a certain pattern, and then we can use some kind of an equation to describe that pattern, and that will give us an idea of what morality is. Yeah. He just wanted me to phrase it into a specific proposition. He wanted me to say that objective morality is, or an immoral action is that which imposes on consent. And that which imposes on consent is something which goes against the will of the person whose will it is, or something like that. Well, I was just saying, I wasn't phrasing it like that. I was just saying imposes on consent. And he asked, like, what is immorality? I said imposes on consent. I didn't actually phrase it the whole way by saying what is, or like the Jeopardy phrasing. An immoral action is that which blah 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 blah. I just skipped all of that and just said impositions of will, and he didn't like that. He wanted me to say the whole thing step by step, and I just didn't do it. So he was just being super pedantic. There wasn't any value in his criticism at all. He was just like, I want you to phrase it like a Jeopardy question. Yep. That is correct. That's the moral progress. The moral progress thing is like we can see how morality has changed over time, and we can plot that out on a graph and draw an arrow through all the lines and say this is the direction it's going. And we can look at the end of the graph, like, well, what is at the end of the direction, and that is the best of all possible worlds. We just keep following that line as far as we can. What is the world going to look like? I think they're wrong. Like, the fact that giving gay rights is a good thing. Like, that's not making morality worse. It's obviously making it better. The fact that we are thinking killing animals is not a good thing is, again, obviously making the world a better place, not worse. So it doesn't make any sense to say it's getting worse. It's clearly not. Yeah, they're obviously wrong. I mean, saying that doesn't work. Like, you can say that, it's obviously wrong. Yep. Yep. I'd say it's obviously wrong. Again, the fact that we are giving people more freedoms without restricting their will is obviously more morally correct. Like, I would then go to the moral intuitions part. Like, what do we intuitively think is more moral and more immoral? And if we remove like gay and just say, if we give a person the freedom to express themselves, that's obviously more moral. But then if you apply specific caveats to it, well, it's not immoral. It's not moral for gay people like Christians do. Well, that's obviously just special pleading. Like, that's a fallacy. It doesn't work. Right, but I can't use that. If I use that argument, that's begging the question. So I can't say it's immoral because it's an imposition on will, because that's already using my morality. What I have to do is show their position doesn't work. So they're special pleading and saying it's not moral to give gay people rights, even though it'd be moral to give everyone else the same rights. And that's special pleading. That's a double standard. So that's how I would show a Christian is wrong in their belief. I would use their own standard of morality, which is that it's right to give people that kind of freedom to express themselves. And if you don't do that for a certain group of people, then you are holding a double standard. You're special pleading that one group of people is something you don't agree to, or something like that. Yeah. Yep, that's what most atheists believe, is that morality is subjective. But actually, in philosophy, there's tons of different objective models. Yep, there can definitely be objective morality, and there's lots of different ways that morality can be objective too. Yep, yep. That's what I like it too. I like my version too.
Excellent armaments, operator. Please return.
Covered in blood.
Yeah, I have 2 dogs. Yeah. God damn it. No, no, IP's arguments are stupid. Yep. Yeah, he's saying that the mathematical equations used to describe quantum mechanics also describe consciousness. Therefore, the universe is actual consciousness. Like what makes the universe is consciousness, because the mathematical equations that describe consciousness are the exact same as the mathematical equations that describe quantum mechanics. And because quantum mechanics describes the fundamental nature of reality, the fundamental nature of reality is consciousness. That's his argument. Yep, there are absolutely academic papers that show that the quantum mechanical position of idealism is a valid interpretation, and there's a small number of physicists who actually accept that, like 6% or below, who believe it's true. So that is, yes, peer-reviewed in some sense. The reason it fails is because math describing something doesn't mean that that's what it is. Like, for example, the math of fluid dynamics can describe a flight of birds, can find a bird flight pattern, but that doesn't mean that a bird flight pattern is made of water, just because the math can describe both. Math is just a tool, a language. So the fact English can describe a tree, but that doesn't make English isn't a tree. So. Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah, that is. Yeah, that was because I was sick, so I didn't have the opportunity to really do that. Yeah, if I went through it again, I would be able to explain it more. Nima Arkani Hamad, yep. Nope. Like, I think it was Richard Feynman who said, anybody who claims to understand quantum mechanics doesn't understand quantum mechanics. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Richard Feynman who said anyone who claims to understand quantum mechanics doesn't understand quantum mechanics. So yeah, no, I don't understand it.
I need you to get inside enemy data vaults and retrieve crucial intelligence data.
The Grineer deteriorate over time. Is that what makes them violent?
That space-time is emergent from a particle that exists outside of space-time.
But are you confident you can withstand their fury? You found a fissure.
Yeah, it's just a particle.
Look out for reactant.
No, that's where it doesn't really make. It doesn't explain it in that sense. There's no time. It doesn't exist outside of time, kind of like quantum mechanics exists outside of time.
Measures. The enemy would rather destroy their data than let it get into our hands.
That was really good. I wanna have another one with him. That would be good. Hopefully, I'll get another one on modern day debate eventually. Yeah, hopefully I'll get another one with him. Because I actually want to go through his arguments instead of just getting into an argument. I mean, instead of just like yelling at him. Yeah, that's why I want to do it on modern day debate. Because modern day debate, it actually, like James actually steps in and it's hilarious. He gets yelled at by Darth Dawkins. Like, you're the worst debater ever. Yep, it is. I think it was James was actually muting Red by accident and not muting Darth Dawkins. Because if you notice, Red wasn't able to say anything when James said had said Darth Dawkins was muted, and that's probably because James muted Red by accident. Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Ordis is angry. I may require maintenance after all.
Yeah, those are like Kent Hovind and Ken Ham are like two of the best promoters of atheism because their arguments are so stupid that people who were young Earth creationists like, I can't really take that seriously anymore. Sort of yes and sort of no. I like his biology. I don't like his philosophy. For the most part, it's probably one of the better philosophies of the like well-known atheists. I'd probably say it has some of the similar flaws as Hitchens and Harris. Harris is probably has a better philosophy in a lot of ways. The one that comes to mind is his versus Frank Turek, I think. What? I think I already did. I'm pretty sure I did. Video. Search. Gmail. Oh, maybe I haven't debated G-Man yet. Yeah, ask James to see if he can set it up. James. I don't know. Depends what you mean by best, I guess. I have no idea. I don't really have fun. It's not really a fun thing for me. Same thing. It's not really. I do it more for a job than I do for fun. Like, fun for me is not an easy thing. Not really. Not anymore. Nope. I don't think I've ever been drunk. No matter how much I drank, I've never been drunk. I doubt it. Like, I've had tons to drink, but never even got drunk, so it's unlikely. Yeah, like tequila and vodka. I do not. I think vodka tastes disgusting. And tequila also tastes disgusting. I think most alcohol tastes disgusting. I think the only kind of alcohol I actually liked was like hard ciders or something sweet like that. I like hard ciders. They're sweet. I like taste good. Sweet alcohol tastes good. Sweet sakis taste good. I'm not a big fan of the salt. I like hard ciders, sweet sakis, those kind of things. You said you weigh 290? I think when I was my heaviest, I was at 340. Yeah. I bought a infomercial thing, P90X, show like those exercise things at like midnight to 2 a.m. in the morning. I bought that, started doing that, and then started biking and jogging around the lake every day. Ended up going 40 miles on a bike every day and 8 miles jogging every day. I lost about 100 pounds every summer for 2 summers. Yeah, the skinniest I ever was 160. That was after doing those like 2 summers of just losing 200 pounds. So. Yeah. Yeah. Nope, I do full-time YouTube. Nope, my parents live in Pennsylvania. I live in Minnesota. Huh? Where do I make them? Like YouTube? Oh yeah, it's just in my room. So I got it's my room is in the attic or the top floor. It's not really an attic, it's just the top floor. A house. Nope. I don't even have a TV connection. I do occasionally watch them. Like there was the Netflix Castlevania series. That one was pretty good. I used to watch the Undead one, Walking Dead. Yep. Yeah, and I saw that show too. That one was pretty good. I like that one. And what was it? Game of Thrones, the first parts. Hmm. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to be. I wasn't for most of my life, but I try to be now. That's my goal, is to try and be a social person as much as possible. So I've been like going to the gym 4 or 5 times a day, different classes, hanging out with popular people, trying to go to like raves and parties and bars and stuff. That's like my goal in life, right? I think I started doing that a few months before everything shut down. So that's currently what I'm trying to do, is to be as social as possible. I have no idea. I just started, so it's not great yet, but it's better than not being social, I guess. Yep, pretty much. Like most of my life, I've been suicidally depressed, so I didn't do anything. No friends, no family, no nothing. Yep, pretty terrible. Yep, still really depressed. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Um, Sort of yes, sort of no. So it's the fact that I was depressed and miserable for my entire childhood, and none of my prayers were ever answered. So the fact that it never got better is why I became an atheist. Like, if it did get better, like if my prayers were answered, then I would have stayed a Christian for sure. But I don't know, like if I wasn't always depressed, I don't know if I would have stayed a Christian or not. So like, um, one second. I was brought up Christian. And I was depressed my entire life. And the fact that I prayed and my prayers were never answered caused me to become an atheist. So I was an atheist because I was depressed and nothing ever improved, even though you expected this God to be there. But I don't know if I wasn't depressed, if I was like brought up and had a happy life, I don't know if that would have caused me to be an atheist or not. So I'm not sure. So I don't know if I became an atheist because of my depression or not. I'm not sure. Well, if you believe in an all-powerful, all-loving being who cares about you more than anything in the world, you would expect that if you're in a great deal of suffering and truly need help, that he would actually help. And so never receiving any kind of help whatsoever was kind of like incompatible with belief in a all-powerful, all-good being who truly cares about you. Then God would be an asshole and I wouldn't want to worship him anyway. Move a trade room. Why do I need a coup a trade room? God damn it. I think it's perfectly fine. I don't see any problem with it. Like, if you don't want to believe, you know. Oh, fuck. I don't have enough hexagon. God damn it. That sucks. Kuva trading room. That's stupid. A new room to trade Kuva shit. Ugh. Yeah, agnostics are fine. If you can define your position however you want. No, you get to define your position however you want to define your position. What? Have one what? An ultimate goal? Relationships with Instagram models. That's my ultimate goal. You have to meet him. You just have to meet them. That's the trick, is you have to be in the right social circles to meet and talk with them, and then worry about the rest.
Everything in orders, operator? Is that a pun? I will attempt to bypass this fault.
Probably more. They're not fundamentals, but probably more like right-leaning, I guess. I don't know. I don't talk to him. I don't really care. Mm-hmm.
Excellent armaments, operator. Please return covered in blood. Safe and sound.
Dictating terms to relevant personages in mining, personnel, and security. This sector has a new master.
A lone Tenno operative is raiding for supplies. You are here to distract the enemy. Trigger the alarm.
Mostly electric guitar. None of them. I don't listen to bands. I listen to all like just mostly stuff from people you never heard of.
Just shut down all systems. I'm sending life support capsules.
Nope. Weak. All right, see ya.
Life support in.
Yeah, I was invited to go to Malaysia for a debate. No, I don't have any desire to travel anywhere, like, because I've never had any, like, fun doing anything like that. Or doing, like, anything, so it's not an interest of mine to go travel. Nope.
Excellent armaments, operator. Please return
Covered in blood.
safe and sound.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that.
Operator, the system needs you. Will you begin another mission?
Quantum Foam. Have I played Jedi Fallen Order? A bit. %100% completion. I got all the trophies for it. If I considered, I like hard games, very, very hard games. Anything that distracts me, pretty much. So the harder, the better. If I considered brain implants for my depression, I don't really care about. My goal isn't to fix my depression so I don't feel it anymore. My goal is to get what I want out of life so I don't have to feel it anymore. So I don't really care about trying to fix the biology of my brain. Not wouldn't make a difference to me at all. I want to get what I value out of life. Instagram models, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, yep. That's just what I value. Wonder if I can get Discord chats to show up on my Restream. Probably not, no. Because I don't have other things that I really value, so for me it probably won't be stale. Restream. Yeah. Hmm. Connection expired. What? Open. Restream bots. How to link Discord to Restream. Settings. Appearance, embed in stream, Discord. Wait. Connect Discord. Cars. Oh, that's cool. Well, apparently I disconnected. That sucks. Oh yeah, because I had to log out to get Discord to actually show up again. So annoying. All right. That's interesting. Close. Close. Streamlabs. All right. Restream chat. Restream chat. Give me this. Copy. Weird. Yard.